Okay, welcome to Wednesday evening encore. So, Wednesday evening encore. Every Wednesday evening. Every Wednesday. WINSDAY. So, hope everyone are doing well. So, 92% of women entrepreneurs say they struggle to translate numbers into narratives that sell. Now, that's not a typo, but let's look at that from a different perspective. That also means that your competition is also stuck because they're part or could be part of that 92%. Just like you've been until today, because you're right here watching right now, all of that is about to change. Let me ask you this. If your stats, now we talk about stats, I know stats and data can sometimes be boring. However, everything is based off stats. Your reports, your matrix, your sales, your stats on social media. Everything is based off stats. So you can learn what time of day your is best to post on social media, even to the percentage of your base, what gender they are, along with what region they're in. All of it is based on data. And as a business owner, as a brand maker, as far as making a brand with your business, data matrix is all very important. So if your stats, if your data, if your matrix, if it had a voice, would anyone listen? Or are you out here flexing spreadsheets while your dream clients scroll right past your brilliance? Now, this isn't about data. It's about being undeniable. The problem isn't that you don't have results, is that you haven't made it relatable, resonate, or a revenue generator. So let's talk about this a little bit more. You know, most people that I come in contact with, we have this talk about data. They're frustrated from trying to prove their value. Do you feel that way? You're posting screenshots of your clients winning. You're dropping percentages, out as far as, dropping percentages out in regards as, who you're helping, how you're helping them, and how they're scaling from a percentage standpoint. And you're dropping that out like it's confetti. And you're telling folks to DM me, but you're hearing crickets. Meanwhile, there's someone else who has half of your credentials, who's getting paid double because they told a better story about how they had a $6,000 month versus your story about your six-figure launch. Now that could sting, right? So in today's episode of Wednesday Evening Encore, we're going to shift from matrix that whisper to messages that move people to pay. You're going to discover how to transform those boring stats, those boring matrix, that boring data into one that is a soul stirring storyline. You're also going to learn how to trigger a buying decision in under 7 seconds. And lastly, how to make your testimonials sound like a feature film. We're going to do all of this really quick, but it's going to be very simple to understand and to be able to implement. It's going to be no fluff, no gimmicks, simple strategy, story, and sales. That's what we're going to do. Now, let's talk about the problem a little bit. Your audience doesn't care about your results because they don't care about your results unless they can see themselves in it, right? If our numbers are cold because you skip the story that warms them up. Now let's dig down a little bit deeper into that. Without any emotional tension, your conversion flatlines. You're shouting about your success into a void where no one's hearing it because they don't like that. They don't like to feel like success is possible for them. They want to have success. So we're going to discuss about the solution. And that solution is that data story fusion that changes everything. When your data, when your matrix, when your stats, when they come wrapped with meaning, they stop being numbers. They start being nudges, emotional proof that moves. Now, we always come with a story, and I was thinking, okay, what client story can I share with you this evening? We once worked with a client who had, we're going to use a stat here, 38% client retention rate. And that's pretty solid, right? But no one cared about it. No one cared about it until we reframed that particular stat and we brought the audience into it. Now, we reframed it like this. Out of every 10 women who say yes to me, nearly 4 re-enrolled without me even asking. That one line closed our client close to $14,000 in 48 hours. Now, let's shift the perspective a little bit. When we're throwing out stats, throwing out percentages and data, and we're using that as far as in our particular collateral, into our marketing, into our lives. When we do that, our clients aren't looking for a mathematician, because most people, the average person is not a mathematician. We'll be good in math, but to be able to figure out, okay, I hear this particular percentage, but then did this happen? Did this happen? Did that happen? Or why didn't that happen? These people that we're talking to, our potential clients, they're looking for a mirror. They want to feel seen. They want to feel safe. They want to sell, right? They want to be sold. And they're looking for stop price and shopping. We want to stop the ghosting, and we want to start paving the way for them to go, and for them, they're looking for you to take the lead. So we're going to discuss what to do, when to do it, why to do it, and then what to expect. So let's first talk about what to do. We're going to and take this, if you have notes, you can always review this particular video either here on Instagram or on YouTube. I'm about to give you a unique series of words and a very simple strategy. You want to start by integrating emotional micro narratives into your data points. So every time you have a win, every time you have a new stat, every time you have some good results, should have a backstory that highlights, now keep this close in mind, Have a backstory that highlights the struggle, the solution, and the success. Now, when do you do that? You do that immediately after you have a win, immediately after a testimonial, immediately after your product launch, immediately after you have a conversion. You want to do that and share that while the story is still fresh and it has some emotional texture to it. Why do you want to do that? Because humans don't buy stats. They buy significance. Your job is to make sure that data has meaning. Make sure that data has meaning. Now, when you do that, what will you expect? You can expect increased engagement, shorter decision cycles, and more pre-sold leads, all within efforts in a way that resonates much deeper than any particular funnel that you can ever create. Now, think about it from this particular way. So some, maybe most of you are familiar with the process or have seen a baking of a cake. Now, when you're baking a cake and you want to show someone, how to do it, you're gonna have a list of eggs. You'll have a list of flour, eggs, sugar, oil, and you're gonna present this all on a slide deck. Now, once you present it, everyone claps. Oh, that looks so good. Now, you're giving them a list of what to put into how much flour to use, how much eggs to use, how much sugar to use, how much oil to use, and you put that into a deck, almost like a recipe. Everyone claps. They can't wait to try it. So, yet instead, we're looking to get people to move, right? To make some type of action. So instead, how about we walk them through the process of smelling it bake, smelling the cake baking, the memory that you have while in your mom's kitchen baking that particular cake, and how when you taste it, it melted in your mouth. Now we see what we just did. We talked about the same ingredients, but we used a different strategy with storytelling and had a totally different impact. That's what storytelling does to data. We have to liven data up because data can be very boring. And like we mentioned before, most of our clients or potential clients are not mathematicians. They're going to have to sit up and figure out, okay, great numbers, but I want to see myself in it. So that's what we're doing. So at this particular point, I expect for everyone who's watching, every woman entrepreneur, every woman who's creating a brand, I expect everyone who's watching to do an audit of how you are sharing your wins this week. How are you sharing your wins this week? So if you're going to be talking about some stats, let's put some storytelling behind it. Let's bring those stats, that data, that matrix to life. If your audience can't feel your results, they won't fund them either. And when I say fund, F-U-N-D, they won't pay for it. So if you know that your data deserves better headlines, your voice deserves more volume, we have a wonderful, wonderful system. It's called Reinvent, the transformation system for entrepreneurs. It's waiting for you. Now, not everyone's going to qualify for that system. However, if you're building something that deserves to live louder, you definitely want to get that system. Now, there's only so much of brand CPR that I can do each particular quarter. So that's why we have these systems that are actually in place And then we have create some other things as well where we go live into small groups a few times a month. Some of you will act now, and others will keep messaging the matrix and don't move the money, don't move the bag. So, which one are you going to do? Are you going to keep messaging the matrix? Or are you going to go ahead and act now by doing what you need to do for your business, for your particular brand? And what I don't want you to do is to say that you weren't invited to the table, because this is your invitation. And over the past few weeks, I've been also talking about the brand brilliance blueprint. Now, that brand brilliance blueprint is officially live. We've had some wonderful reviews of the brand brilliance blueprint, and women have been taking advantage of it and having immediate success with their businesses, with their brand. So we're excited, about what it's actually doing, and we hope that you'll take advantage of it as well. It's for the women who are ready to stop blending in and to start owning the stage. That is who the brand brilliance blueprint was actually made for. We designed it for those who are done with cute captions and who are ready to make some revenue. So next Wednesday evening encore, the episode that we have is I have titled it cash flow stack. 3 income streams, same 24 hours, because you deserve multiple deposits, not just multiple DMs. So make sure that you turn on your notifications, and feel free to share this particular video with anyone who is quietly brilliant and who needs to hear this particular piece of information. And if you're ready to make cold data, cold matrix, cold stats, the cold boring stats, if you're ready to make it irresistible and turn your receipts into revenue, make sure you check out the blog about today's breakdown of what I'm speaking about. It'll go into more information. You'll also find a link. You'll find that link in the description. All those of you on Instagram, you can find that particular link in the bio. And those of you who are really done building quietly and you're just sick and tired of it, you're ready for change, go ahead and book that 15-minute strategy call. I want you to remember that your story, remember that the story your data tells becomes the story your client believes. So don't just show results, sell revelation. Let's create your success now.